Sometimes you just want to know how many things you possess when you are pursuing a one-bag life. That's why this video is all about how you can actually count your things for a one-bag life. And at the end of the video, I will give you my single best tip on the easiest way of counting your things for every kind of lifestyle, even if you're not pursuing a one-bag life. So don't miss out. If you're new here, I'm Sven. Just an extreme minimalist one-bag lifer with less than 100 possessions and the desire to live his whole life out of just one carry-on sized backpack. So if you end up liking the video, don't forget to subscribe and like, but most important, share a comment with your thoughts at the end of the video, check the weekly one-bag life community post and join me on my journey towards a true one-bag life. But I would say, let's get started. Have you ever felt the urge to know exactly how many things you are possessing right now? I honestly definitely did. Right from the start when I turned to minimalism and then became an extreme minimalist and now pursuing a one-bag life, I always wanted to know how many things I have and what is inside of my bag. And therefore, because you only have this limited amount of space, I definitely needed to find a system that is very useful and easy to use, how I can count all of my possessions at each step towards my journey towards a true one-bag life. And I would say I count my possessions very straightforward, because I just count everything. And when I say everything, I literally mean almost everything. For example, my tablet. You can count a tablet as one with all the accessories like the charging cable, like the case, and there is also a pen inside here, but I count every single item that I have as a single item. So this is not one item for me, these are actually four. So as I said, the charging cable, the tablet itself, the case for the tablet, and also the pen that is inside of the case. So that's why I would say it's very easy and straightforward, because if you count everything, everything matters. So that's the way how I count. But for some things, counting them individually doesn't make any sense at all. So even though I would say I count everything separately, some things I put together in one thing or count them as one thing. Another example is this tablet again, or maybe even my phone I'm recording right now. Because yes, I count the case and the pencil or the pen separately. There is a screen protector on my tablet, so I wouldn't count the screen protector as one thing because it is permanently attached to the tablet with no need for me to put it away or to peel it off or so. So some things I would say that are necessary to use the thing or are permanently attached to something definitely count as one. And maybe one other example would be my old camera that I don't have anymore. But the camera needs a battery, because without the battery it won't function at all. So if you need something to make something else work, like the battery of my camera, I definitely would say you can count this as one item, because as I said, you needed to make it work. So camera and battery would be counted as one item for me. Also, it makes a lot of sense to count some things a little bit different to other things, especially when it comes to bigger items like furniture or so. So I definitely count my furniture. So in one of my previous videos, I showed you my 4 pieces of furniture that I have, and I definitely count them to my belongings. But these are not necessarily things that I would take when I would go traveling with my bag again. So I count them in a separate way, but they contribute to the overall number of possessions I have as well. But just make sure that you find, as I said, a very useful system. And when you count your things, maybe for a one-bag life, in my opinion, it doesn't make any sense to count your furniture as some things you would put inside your bag, because you can't do it. So count them separately, but take them in account to the overall number at the end. And lastly, there are actually some things you shouldn't count at all for any kind of lifestyle, even for a one-bag life. And these are things that you actually are required to have, maybe by law or maybe even for some health conditions you have. For example, in my case, most of these items I'm required to have are paperwork. That's because the law here in Germany says I need to have some very important documents always in a paper form to show them to I don't know what people. So these are requirements that I have to actually have physically here. So I wouldn't count these as my actual possessions, because then I would need to count every single piece of paper I have here right now. And the same goes for health-related items. So if you have any health condition that requires something very special for you, I definitely wouldn't count that at all, even if it's a lot of things and would make up a whole bag by itself, because I would say health is every time above a lifestyle. So even if you're pursuing a one-bag life and you have a separate bag just for your things that you are required to have for your health, I wouldn't count that at all, because as I said, health is much, much more important than every lifestyle you could pursue in your life. So don't count these things, as I said, you need to have or you're forced to have, and the things that you require to live a healthy and good lifestyle. As you can see, counting your things in a useful way for a one-bag life isn't that hard. And for me personally, it provides me a very good overview of the stage I'm currently right now, and provides a good help for me along my journey towards a true one-bag life, and to find out what I really need and what I don't. But now that you know how you can count your things for a one-bag life, here is my single best tip for the easiest way how you can count your things for any kind of lifestyle, even if you're not pursuing a one-bag life. I call it count as you buy. And it's very simple to explain, because maybe we take the tablet or my tablet again as an example. When you buy this tablet, you will get the pen, so the pen that is inside the case here, and the charging cable I have right here within the box. So the easiest way for me personally would be to count everything I buy as one item. So the tablet itself, the pen, and the charging cable would be one item. If you want to make it even more easier or even easier, then I would count the accessories as well. So I would count the case and the screen protector as well. So everything that I use for this single item, the pen, the charging cable, the case, and the tablet itself, would count as one item. That is, in my opinion, the easiest way how you can keep track, or generally keep track of your things, if you are just interested in what you actually possess in maybe some of the different categories I sometimes talk about in my other videos. So try to find an easy way to make it happen, because sometimes it can really help you to organize your life a little bit better. And as I said, you don't need to make it as complicated as I do or as separately as I do. Just count as you buy and make it so easy to count your things. If you liked the video, don't forget to subscribe and like, but most important, share a comment with the way how you would count your items at the moment, and also don't forget about the weekly one-bag life community post. The next video will be about the actual less than 100 possessions I carry right now for my one-bag life. In the meantime, you can watch my last video to find out how my journey towards living with less than 100 possessions looked like. But as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.